A long, long time ago, there was a sea, the Pannonian Sea. Then, the sea was no more. A long time ago, there were swamps. Then the swamps were no more. People from many a place turned the swamps into fertile land, and that land became their home. Some time ago, there was a war. Then many homes were no more. Then many people were no more. And then the war was no more. But the war did not simply vanish naturally like the Pannonian Sea. The war was fought off by people, by women and men who defended their homes, their people, their beliefs. Their homes were scattered around the land. Their people belonged to different nations and religions. But their belief was equality, solidarity, and friendship between all people. Their belief was the right of all people to freedom. And they won. Many of them were commemorated. Artwork was placed all over the land. The most prominent artists engaged and willing to do the job. Locals enthusiastically paid their respect and visited these sites of resistance, liberation, and death. And now, most of them are forgotten.
We are here in Sremski Karlovci, a small town in the Vojvodina region in Serbia, and we are pretty much close to the Fruška Gora National Park, and the idea of the project Liberation Route is to do a mapping of historical sites in this mountain range that is related to the crimes of National Socialists and their collaborators here in this region, and to do a mapping of historical sites that are connected with the resistance against the Nazis and their allies.
It is really important to have this historical parts where you can see and feel this historical. So for this, in this project would we make a map and also trails and tracking points. Would we go with the digitalization?
Adults, and one of the topics that I'm planning to research in the near future is precisely the monuments of NOB, or the resistance in partisan resistance in Yugoslavia. So for this reason, I already started doing some research on it. I would like to make a documentary series about the scattered monuments around the different ex-republics of Yugoslavia.
I am interested in mapping spaces, and I'm interested in monumental sculpture, so that was my motivation for the project. It was very interesting seeing those places. Most of the monuments are not very accessible, so it was interesting seeing most of them I've never seen before, and creating the map and pinning the locations.
I think in Germany we do learn a lot about Nazi times and the war. There is so much to know about, but still a lot of the history we don't really talk about and we don't really get educated on. So I'm really interested to learn something new and to make it visible for others and easier accessible for others like me, Germans, Serbs, or whoever is interested in it.
I see the value in this project as one educational tool that can help young people to remember the past, learn from the past, and make that something like that never happens again.
I not came from the historical part of this project, but I really like to be part of it, and get into this topic. It's really new to me and I'm really interested in.
Very important and very interesting to talk and learn about partisans, especially from Yugoslavia, old Yugoslavia, because it's also part of our history. Yeah, and we should learn about it and reflect what all the actions in the past mean for us now and what we can learn about it.
I also think it's important to have more memories about the partisan movement, because I feel like in Germany not many people know about it at all, about the Second World War in Yugoslavia. Partisan movement is not really thought or talked about anymore, but I think it's important because you can learn a lot about it or from it to not have fascism again ever.
I see the value in these young people who are interested in the topic, who from both sides, Serbian and German, are not judging the nations but are seeing that as a lesson from history and also remembrance of the victims of those bad stuff that was happening in the World War II.
Fruška Gora mountain range was one of the most important areas for the resistance against the Nazis here in this region. And in our project we do a mapping in order to create hiking trails, so people that are interested in history can follow those trails to learn more about this history of World War II and the resistance. So they get a closer connection to the history that is present here in the region.
Are living in today's society where you don't know the values anymore, are getting crashed, collapsed. People are going back into that thinking, that backward thinking, and to think that something like that can happen is just terrifying. And I would really like that this is just a small part where we can contribute to this overall picture, to educate young that it is like something really, really horrible that happened. And I wish and I hope that it will be useful for people, not just to educate, but also to have like maybe a nice walking route where they can enjoy the nature, connect with the nature, and see some values that they will discover in the process.
My job was to find out about possible places to investigate research, what possible places and monuments we should visit. I think this project is very important, at least for me. It opens up new possibilities to connect the people, the nature and the history of this region with stories about anti-fascism, with stories about National Socialism terror, and I think it has a good potential for education and for future visitors of Fruška Gora and this region.
this project combined the historical part, which I really related to everyday life today and our political situation all over the world, the struggle again for freedom and equal society for everyone, maps and nature.
The memory is a struggle, making some sort of memory about those people who were fighting against fascism, but also, I mean, to show the values of those people to the modern day man.
Nature is everlastingly interested in these memorials since they are mainly placed in her abode. It embraces them still with its branches, its leaves, its wind, and sunlight. We came here to embrace these artifacts with our own sources, with our legs, hands, eyes, ears, words, and thoughts, hearts and souls. We came here from many places to this land of Serbia, the flat and fertile province of Vojvodina, and its only hill range, Fruška Gora. Through its woods and its hills, we move in the footsteps of its anti-fascist movement.